Am I the asshole for telling my wife to stop acting out in front of my mom? My wife and I had our baby boy 5 weeks ago. Everything's going fine, no health problems or complications whatsoever. However, my wife is often exhausted, so I let my mom come over to help out with cleaning and stuff. I can barely have time to work, and also, at the same time, spend time with the baby and bond with him a little bit. Thing is, my wife acts strange whenever she sees my mom with our son. She'd make a face and talk to her in a descending tone. Even raises her voice at her, causing mom to feel hurt. I asked my wife about it and she said it was because of what my mom is doing. I asked her to elaborate and she complained about mom holding the baby for long and taking forever to give him back to her. Mom argued that my wife could ask nicely instead of outright yelling, but my wife defended herself, saying that she only starts raising her voice after she's already asked a couple of times and mom won't listen. They started arguing and mom started crying. That's when I felt enraged, pulled my wife aside and told her to stop acting out and that if she keeps this up then we won't get any more help from mom. She argued that she was trying to feed our son and that it was awful of me to think of it as acting out. I said I understood her frustration and yes, mom can do things that require some patience from us. But a little kindness can go a long way in keeping the peace in this difficult time. She called me selfish and said that it's easy for me to say when I'm not the one dealing with this. From there the argument escalated despite me trying to cut it short. I went outside to calm down and after that my wife started cold shouldering me. I told her this was not okay, but she told me to go shoo myself and that from now on out I should deal with taking our son back from my mom when it's time for feeding, since I condone this behavior. I really am not condoning anything and really think she's stressed out, yes, but the way she behaves around mom is, in my opinion, not okay. ETM. My goodness. I'm seeing so much anger here. I'm sorry I cannot respond to you all, but I just want people to calm down and understand that I in no way agree with some of my mom's behaviors. Just how my wife reacts is not okay, and that's all. Really. Thank you very much though. Okay. Have a nice day. You are the asshole. Also, if your mom is holding the baby, that's not helping. She's helping if she's doing dishes or making a meal so your wife can rest with the baby. You are the asshole. Your mom sounds like a meddlesome pest. Your wife shouldn't have to ask more than once for her baby. Put your mother in her proper place and stand up for and support your wife. You are the asshole. Trying to picture how I'd feel if I gave birth 5 weeks ago, had to ask multiple times to have access to my own baby, and then my husband told me that I was the problem. I wouldn't feel good about my marriage, that's for sure. Did you marry her just to get a grandbaby for your mom? Am I the asshole for reporting my daughter's car missing after her stepbrother took it without permission? I got my daughter, 17, a new car 2 months ago. Her stepbrother, 19, has gone crazy about it ever since and has been attempting to drive it, but my daughter made it clear she doesn't want him to. He'd refer to it as our car, and would get mad when my daughter decorates it with pink and add teddy bears and necklaces as decoration. He'd get angry and say that she was ruining their car, and embarrassing in front of his friends, although she never let him get inside of it. I asked my husband to talk to his son, but he said that my daughter and I need to chill. Fast forward to this past Friday. My daughter called me at work saying her stepbrother took her car while she was upstairs after he demanded the keys and she refused. I called his phone but he didn't respond. I called my husband and told him what happened. I told him that he needed to go bring the car back or I'd have to call the police. He called his son, then called me back saying his son was just taking it to go to the movies with his friends and will bring it back at 9 p.m. I couldn't wait. I wanted him one more time to bring it back but he stalled. I called the police and reported it stolen. My stepson was picked up from his location and brought in to the local police station. We got the car back but it was a mess, the decorations and toys in it were gone. My daughter didn't stop crying about it. My husband blew up at me on the phone for calling the police on his son and causing him to spend the night there. They both came home the next day and a huge argument ensued with my husband saying I made a mistake reporting the car missing and said that I escalated this situation and that I was the one who created it and should have got his son a similar car or at least told my daughter to share. Otherwise we wouldn't be dealing with his son's temper tantrums. The house has been full of tension since then and everyone is just mad at each other's. I didn't want police involvement but seeing my daughter cry I just couldn't take it. This is weird. For the simple act of reporting the car stolen, when it was in fact stolen, not the asshole. For marrying and subjecting yourself and more importantly your daughter to the environment created by your husband and stepson, you are the asshole. Get a divorce and get them as far away from your daughter as possible. Not the asshole. You told your husband to get the car back or you'd call the police. He and his son ignored you. You called the police. No one should be surprised. Why doesn't your husband buy his son a car? It sounds like your finances are separated? Does the kid work, go to school, do anything responsible with his life? Not the asshole. I love when the husband says you should have either bought his son a car or told your daughter to share. I mean, or he could have just taught his son to not be entitled. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend the way she talks about her car is weird and embarrassing? I've, 25, been dating my girlfriend, 23, for about 9 months now. When she turned 21, her parents gave her a car, and she decided to name it Angie. I learned all this on our first date, when she said, "Angie took me here." I thought that was odd but let it slide. Throughout our relationship, she's always talked about her car as if she's talking about another person. When she got a flat tire on the highway a few months back, she called me and said that, Angie's shoe broke and has to get a new one. When she goes to the car wash she describes it as giving Angie a bath. This all came to a head this weekend, when me and my friends went out drinking, and my girlfriend offered to be the designated driver. We were out for a couple hours and I admittedly got a bit too drunk. When my girlfriend came to pick us up, she said she's stopping at the gas station first, to get Angie something to drink. This is where I may be the a-hole. I told her I think it's weird and embarrassing of her to talk about her car like that. It's a machine, not a pet or a kid, and that she should treat it like how a normal person would treat any machine. She got very quiet and refused to say anything for the rest of the drive home. She dropped off my friends, and then drove to my apartment. I asked her why we weren't going back to hers, and she said she needed some time to think and told me to get out. She's been radio silent since then and I'm starting to think I did something wrong. Am I the asshole for what I said? Update. Well, she dumped me. She found the post, called me and told me never to speak to her again. I guess it's for the best though, we really wouldn't have been that compatible, as many of you have said. Thank you for your judgments. I asked Sasha since she's my car and would have a better perspective on this. She said you are the asshole. Sasha also said cars need gas because they're hungry, not thirsty. She thought it was important for everyone to know. Wow. I told her about all of the cars, trucks, SUVs, RVs, hybrids, scooters, vans and a few laptops that responded and I think it made her blush because she's looking a little more shiny than usual. You are the asshole. Geez, just let your girlfriend enjoy her relationship with Angie. Are you jealous? How was she hurting anyone by being a bit silly when referring to her car? Am I the asshole for telling my adult son to grow up and get over it? I am a 47-year-old woman with 2 grown children. Lila is 23 and Adam is 26. When Adam was 11, he had his first girlfriend, Jenna. It was a typical middle school relationship. They went to a few dances, went bowling together, things like that. It was very cute. It lasted about 5 months and when they broke up, Adam sulked for a day before continuing on as normal. Jenna did hurt his feelings a bit by telling him the reason was, she didn't like kissing him, but he seemed to get over it quickly. Present day. Adam married his lovely wife about a year ago and they are expecting a child in November. Lila moved back home after college last year and started seeing Jenna about 7 months ago. Lila is in love. She's been open about being a lesbian since she was a freshman in high school but she never showed much interest in anyone before Jenna. I am so happy to finally see her satisfied with that aspect of her life. Adam isn't, though. He thinks it's weird that Lila is dating his ex-girlfriend. His main arguments are that it's tainting the memory of his first love and that Jenna hurt him when she broke up with him. Lila and Jenna have just signed a lease on their first apartment together and Adam is upping the dramatics now. He's called Lila a backstabber, disloyal and recently a wh-re and I've just about had enough. He's a married man. With a baby on the way. It is not healthy to focus on this. I could understand if it were a serious relationship, even high school would be different. But they were honest to God children then, how could it possibly matter still? He insists it's not about harboring feelings and I certainly believe that but this obsession with preserving his nostalgia is ridiculous. I've told Adam that I will not tolerate this anymore and if he chooses to continue behaving this way, I will have to start limiting my contact with him. He needs to let this go, grow up and stop acting like he owned Jenna. He got very angry with me for choosing Lila. But I don't see it that way. I think I am choosing to protect my own sanity, not choosing between my children. I asked some friends what they thought and I've gotten some mixed responses. 2/3 agree with me that Adam is overreacting, but one says she understands why Adam is upset. I enjoy lurking in this subreddit, so I thought I'd finally ask a question of my own. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. He was 11. That is not the same as a college relationship. A high school relationship. An adult relationship. This guy is deifying something completely ridiculous. I don't even remember who the first person I dated was, let alone even kissed. He's being completely ridiculous. That relationship was never important. It should be painfully obvious to anyone that she didn't like kissing him, possibly because of her orientation. Adam is being a fool. A damned fool. Not the asshole. Instead of thanking everyone, I want to apologize for not keeping up with the thread. Some of you are way funnier than me, though. And I'm glad I tried to read most of it.